Yes, guys, it's bloody Christmas, so I've decided to plonkaroonie the hat on my bonce. We are absolutely delighted to welcome you to a 3 More Points podcast episode with my co-host, All Right Harry. Channel link is probably in the title of the video. Perhaps, if I'm being really friendly, it's in the description if I'm feeling averagely friendly. Harry, you didn't get up for the game last night. First things first, I was very lonely watching by myself on our sofa.
Yep.
Why did you decide that it wasn't the right time to watch Chelsea win a quarter-final of the Carabao Cup?
As you know, I have been sick for some days now.
Oh,
and
I've been not very good.
I've been in recovery, but I'm here today because people need to hear from me, clearly.
Oh, yeah, all right. Brilliant enthusiasm there.
Yeah.
Harry watched the game this morning. I watched the game also this morning, but live on television. Chelsea won, Newcastle won, penalty victory, 4-2. I'm just going to insert the clip again. I think this is Petrovic's night. I'm going to milk it for a while because apparently when I go on 10-day holidays, it means I know nothing about football, and I just wanted to prove once again that I actually do. Harry, top-end thoughts?
Lucky guess.
It was an educated guess. Chelsea and Newcastle are evenly matched teams. They're not. They're really not. But in my head, they were. And it just made sense to me. Have you seen Petrovic's arms, mate? These things are like, what's the Goliath bird-eating spider? When you look at the body of a Goliath bird-eating spider, it's the legs that make him daunting. With Petrovic, it's the arms.
The Goliath birdie.
That's what Bruno Guimaraes has for breakfast every morning.
I think we're going to have to clip this and put a Goliath bird-eating spider with a photo of Petrovic's wingspan.
I don't even think I have the potential to even go on Google, find an image of a Goliath bird eater and put it on the screen without freaking out and asking someone else to edit it for me.
Right,
so we're not going to do that. But what did you think about the game before we go into like Animal Planet?
Yeah, I thought the game was really good. I thought we completely dominated and controlled Newcastle. I can barely remember them having a shot, to be honest. Again, there was a little individual error, but I think one thing, because I've not had a chance to talk about this yet, you did a video in the week about Conor Gallagher. I've seen the news as we go around. I saw Joey Knight do a thing about it. I saw Eunice do a thing about it, about Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
And like, it just makes me so angry.
Oh, so angry!
It makes me so angry. Because he is by far the best midfielder in our team. He's by far the best player in our team. If you're watching him and you think he's not good at football, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear from you. You don't support the same team as me. I'm not interested. He is so good at what he does. The pressing is unbelievable. The energy, the passing.
But Harry, he passes it backwards a lot.
Shut up.
I know.
Shut up. I'm not interested. If you think he's not a good player, then you're a little FIFA nerd, and all you want is Messi and Ronaldo in your team. You're not interested in any other profile of player. You're not interested in any other attributes, and I'm absolutely sick of hearing about it. And that's a message for Todd Bowley and the board as well. If you're even thinking about selling him for 50 million in January, you need your head checked. I'm absolutely sick to death of this conversation.
Yeah.
Of all the things we've spoken about, Conor Gallagher leaving should not be one of them.
Yeah.
And I actually can't tell you how pissed off it makes me.
Yeah, Christmas is 5 days away. I don't want you to get sick again, so I'll interject with some very calm clarity to the situation. The truth of the matter is, we had a conversation about this yesterday.
I had to get that out.
There was a very nice piece. I agreed with everything you said. We talked about this yesterday. I think the way that football is judged nowadays has become so FIFA Centric, particularly on social media. YouTube comments as well, there's a lot of this going about. I think people only want to see goals. They only want to see really quick speed down the wings and skills to skin a man in the 6-yard box. Like, that's not what football is all about. When we played United, we saw when Gallagher wasn't in the team, even an average midfield of Scott McTominay and whoever the bloody other bloke was overran Chelsea. And even against Newcastle, the amount of times that you see Gallagher intercept him with a slide tackle. Enzo is supposedly the advanced midfielder of the three, or the 4-2-3-1, whatever it was supposed to be. Wasn't really sure in that first half. And yet still Gallagher is the one, breaking from deep, winning the ball if it wasn't Caicedo, getting it forward, driving forward, almost scored a brilliant goal that deserved to be a goal. And I just think, man of the match once again, I think it's time to understand that if you don't like Conor Gallagher, you need to look at football in a different way.
You need to look at yourself in the mirror. You need your head checked.
Harry is not the guy you want to mess with. I'm telling you now. This guy was sick for a couple of days, went boxing yesterday, 4 people in hospital. It's the truth.
Facts.
But yeah, Gallagher, I think, deserved the man of the match. In my opinion, it couldn't have gone to a Newcastle player because it was weird. But I understand with Newcastle, to give them a bit of credit here in a way. They've had so much football to play.
Yeah.
They've got so many injuries. And they actually looked like they defended really well for large portions of the game. Or do you think that was more just Chelsea being very typical of Chelsea this season, where once again, low block, and you've actually got better players doing the low block now instead of a relegation threatened side. And do you think there was an element of luck about the way we got back level to then go and win the game on pens or not?
Of course there was, but it's no more lucky than their goal. I mean, like, in fact, I'd say that it was better. You know, it's like all the games when we are playing okay and we go down, it's always individual errors that are the problem. We spoke about this before, and it was the same thing again. Badiashile gets his legs crossed, and he just, you know...
It was just a calamity from everyone.
Yeah, it was...
Cole's pass.
Individual errors, though. Yeah. Like, again, I've said this before. What the hell is Pochettino supposed to do when players just make stupid decisions like that? Like, clear individual errors, lack of balance, tripping over. I mean, it's just embarrassing. Yeah. But then, you know, they've had a similar error at the other end of the pitch, which makes it level. But to be honest with you, and I actually watched I think it was I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was a video about how bad actually are Chelsea, or are Chelsea actually good, or whatever the title of the video was. And it was breaking down how we rank in the Premier League in different areas of the pitch. And it showed like all our playing out of every area is actually like top 5 teams in the Premier League, except for the final third of the pitch, and key passes as well are really low. So when you look at that, I understand why sometimes people criticise Gallagher, because they're like, oh, he doesn't get goals, he doesn't get assists. But who is in our team, firstly? And secondly...
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. But that's not his role. Like, he is the engine. He's doing everything. He's linking play. And yeah, there's areas where he can improve. Fine. This isn't a Conor Gallagher podcast. But anyway, I just want to make that point.
I'll rate it.
Yeah, but basically, it was talking about how we're actually really good in all areas of the pitch, potentially, except for in the final third. And when you watched us today, you saw that on display. We completely dominated the game. They barely had a shot. We were completely in control. I thought the midfield was absolutely magnificent, the way we marshalled everything. But it was just putting the ball on the back of the net and scoring goals that was the problem again. So which is why I was excited to see Nkunku come on. What did you think about that?
I think it was obviously if you've got Nkunku on the bench, and Pochettino said in his presser before, 20 minutes is probably all he can do. 25 is what he got. That's probably about expected. 30 if you add injury time and whatnot too. He looked as though he hadn't played football for 6 months, I'm not going to lie. But I think with Nkunku, if we talk about this as like the first main point of the pod, I think with Christopher Nkunku, what he's going to bring to this Chelsea team, he's either going to put Jackson on the left wing if he doesn't want Mudryk there, but I think he'll put Mudryk there now after that goal, which we can also talk about. Or it's a direct replacement for Nicholas Jackson, who I think was pretty useless out there today, to be quite honest. And I think, again, if you look at other performances as well, where he's not scoring hat-tricks at Spurs, he's been pretty useless on the whole for a while.
We were talking about all his goals have been weird.
Yeah, it's odd. Like, even the Sheffield United one, it was like the play stopped and then he's 2 yards out, and if you miss that, then I'm sorry, that I'll fly back to England, put myself in Cobham, and I will sit out there naked until you get picked. Do you know what I mean? Like, that could have been a calamity if he missed that. But he didn't. He scored. Credit to the striker.
Don't know why you're naked in that situation, but anyway.
Nkunku... Because it's Christmas, you know? Nkunku as the striker is what I want to see now. I think it is time for Nicholas Jackson to take a bit of time out. Be that impact player. If Mudryk is playing on the left, or Sterling's on the left, Palmer's on the right, or maybe Palmer's behind Nkunku, that to me sounds very exciting. Cole Palmer behind Christopher Nkunku, Sterling on the right, Mudryk, who after that goal and then a brilliant penalty, has to have confidence. He completely changed the game for Chelsea and has given us an opportunity now, potentially, to win a trophy. So I think for me, Nkunku coming in, when you look at the fixtures we've got what? Wolves away, and they got battered the other day. They've not been playing that well. We've then got, I think, who is it? Fulham Palace at home. We should beat Palace at home. They've been in a bit of a spiral. Luton away. Then I think we got Fulham at home, and Preston also in that before Fulham in the FA Cup.
It's a good run.
That is 5 matches where if Nkunku is ready to start, Chelsea theoretically could go into these games, even Wolves away on Christmas Eve, if we're up for it. Who's up for a game on Christmas Eve, by the way? Not me. Maybe not you. I don't know. Maybe you are. Let me know in the comments down below. But I think this is perfect now to give Nkunku minutes. And I would start him. And if it isn't working, you bring on a Jackson, you bring on an Armando Broja. Now there are options for Chelsea. And because Nkunku's so versatile, I think he could come in and fit anywhere, be it on the left, be it as a striker, as a number 10, depending on the way the game's going. He just has that, in my opinion, world-class ability, which makes opposition defences actually have to pay a bit more attention solely to him, which can allow players like Mudryk to do what he did in the 92nd minute. Put pressure on Trippier, arrive from that left-hand side, come into the middle, and that is where we can see him threaten more. So I think overall, Nkunku just elevates all of those attacking players with that little bit of quality that's been so necessary for so long that we've not had with Broja, sorry to say it, because he's not really played much, and Nicholas Jackson on the whole. There isn't that. No defender's scared of Jackson. They're not. And they should be scared of Nkunku.
I think Jackson's actually quite good at dribbling. Like, I think he's quite good at running with the ball.
Yeah.
I think what he's bad at is knowing where to be in the box as a striker. I don't think he's very composed. I think he wants too many touches in the box when he's shooting. So, like, in that sense, I'd say like he does look more like a winger, and it's no surprise that he only played like a season or half a season as a striker before we bought him as a striker.
Yeah.
So I would quite like to see Jackson out wide at some point now Nkunku's back. I really wouldn't mind seeing that at all. And with regards to the Nkunku introduction, it just all depends on his fitness for me. You know, you've got to make sure he's fit and ready, and there's no point in rushing him back if he's not ready. Like, that's the first minutes he's had in like 6 months or whatever it is.
Yes.
So, and even then, before it was still preseason, it wasn't even like proper top flight football. So yeah, I feel like it's all very interesting. I wanted to say on Mudryk actually. Obviously, last pod I went mental and I was like saying how most of these guys are probably not going to be good enough. I've not really changed my opinion much. Like, just based on the last couple of performances, it's still going to be up and down. I think some of the players in this team are going to be really, really good and are starting to play really well.
He scored a goal, Harry.
He did score a goal, but I wanted to say though, in the game before this, actually, I saw against Sheffield. We didn't speak about that game, but there was a couple of moments where Mudryk was dribbling and actually showing some close control of the football, which I have not seen him do once in a Chelsea shirt. So that alone was enough to get me a little bit excited, because it started to make me think, oh, actually, maybe he can do some of the things I think he can't do.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a case of that growing that football intelligence. And I saw Joey Knight make a really good point about this, where he said...
Big up Joey, by the way.
Yeah, when he said Ronaldo first came to the Prem, and he wasn't saying Mudryk's going to be as good as Ronaldo, or he's even close to being as good as Ronaldo. But he was saying that when Ronaldo first came, you could see that physically everything was there, but the football IQ wasn't there.
Yeah.
And he grew into it. And to say it could be a similar thing with Mudryk, maybe he'll be like a Florent Malouda or something like that, like a very, very good left winger. I added that bit. But you know, the point is he's not going to be Ronaldo, but he might be a pretty good winger eventually. But I still think I don't want to get too happy about this, because I know that there's going to be more blips. There's going to be more performances where I want to kill all of them. So yeah, like it's not,
wow.
Yeah.
He really has been ill, hasn't he? Kill all of them. We don't actually mean that, just in case there are any brands out there that want to work with us who think that we actually would consider murdering players. We wouldn't do that at any given point.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Thank you, George, for pointing that out.
Yeah, I have to, Harry, because you're slipping at the tongue, you know. You've got to be careful these days. You've got to be very careful.
We can just cut that out.
We can't cut that out. We're not cutting that out. We're leaving it right in there. You have to own up to your mistakes.
This is an honest show.
Mudryk, I've just looked at our text conversation when I send Harry the running order of the points. He's being aggressive to me before I even said this. I don't understand what I've done to deserve this. He's called me a pussy for no reason.
He hasn't even opened
Absolutely no reason.
He didn't even open that message, though.
I don't open any of your messages, mate.
Brilliant.
We need to do a Christmas special, I think, at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Where we just abuse one another.
Reflect on our friendship. And
no one cares about that.
That's true.
No, they care about Petrovic, though.
Yeah, let's talk about Petrovic.
People do care about Petrovic.
You're Petrovic curious.
I am massively into Petrovic. I am. Like, I think
you've been talking about him a lot.
I was watching videos of him when we signed him, and I just look at some of the saves he was making. I like how imposing he is as a goalkeeper. Where he's, can you not? I'm trying to keep this PG.
I don't know why I'm finding this so
like,
funny.
When Petrovic comes out in some of the highlight videos you see of him in the MLS, like, he's just so big. I said it in. Oh God. I said it in the flipping preview when I was giving my reasons why I thought Petrovic was actually going to win us the penalty shootout. It's because he's just got massive arms. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to pull this back here.
He's a big, beautiful man, and you really like him.
He's a big bloke.
You want to see him in goal? You want to see him play?
We didn't see much against Sheffield United because they didn't really have much of a say in the game. Chelsea comfortably won 2-0, the best you could probably expect at this point from this current Chelsea team. But then in the Newcastle game, there wasn't many saves to make at all. Couldn't really do much about Callum Wilson's goal. You look at the penalties, and the thing that I absolutely loved about the Matt Ritchie penalty, which is the winning penalty in the end, is the mind games. How long have we waited? Kepa's been good at pens, but like looking at Sanchez, for example, when he's stood there in the goal,
he's just slow.
I just think he's slow. Like, he's made some good saves. He's made some big saves. And I think there's been games where you could say he's arguably saved us from humiliation beyond humiliation. But I would say that Petrovic, we've not seen enough even now, if I'm going to keep it real. I don't think we've seen enough of him yet to say that when Sanchez is back fit, Pochettino is going to keep him in the team.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, for Pochettino, now that Petrovic has actually been the hero in a penalty shootout in a quarter-final to go to the semis, whether it is Liverpool, West Ham, Everton, Fulham, Middlesbrough in the semis, Petrovic to me has got to play both legs.
Yeah.
When you keep a clean sheet in your first home Premier League game, don't care who it's against or how many shots you've had to save, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Confidence. Then you make that decisive save in a penalty shootout, you absolutely deserve a shot. And I would go as far as to say that Sanchez, at no point, has ever made me feel comfortable that he is Chelsea's number one.
The big thing to mention with him is his distribution and how much better that is. I mean, look, Newcastle press really, really well as a team. Like we saw that the last time we played them, they were amazing. So the way he was, there was moments where like he was playing little 1-2s and like he was just hitting the ball out real nice. Like the number of times I've seen Sanchez kick it straight out for a throw in.
Too often.
I mean, every game he does it a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it's just easy, just giving the ball back to the opposition so easily. So even if him and Sanchez are comparable shot stoppers, I can already see he's better with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
So
I also think he could become a better goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Like I think there's when you see a goalie and you see like Sanchez has clear weaknesses and he has clear positives. With Petrovic, I wouldn't necessarily say to the naked eye from what I've seen so far there's any clear weaknesses. And I also think it's kind of like, I've got the quote on my phone. Let me see what he said after the game, because this is also big, because this is a mentality thing that actually matters as a goalie. I don't hear pressure. They need to score. I can be the hero. I just did my job. That's it. That is, again, for a young goalkeeper, playing down the fact that actually you're going to get all the plaudits for this. Mudryk's obviously going to get them as well. But as the goalie, if you save the final kick of the game in that shootout, you're going to be remembered as the guy.
Fantastic save as well.
Yeah. And I just think that humbleness and willingness to be able to probably learn will put him in good stead. And I think the fact that Sanchez hasn't really made that shirt his own. There's a lot of conversations about Chelsea do want a top-level goalie. Petrovic has done all he can, I think, so far, to give himself the best shot of being in the team.
Definitely. No, yeah. I'm up for him giving him a run in the team now and seeing how he gets on, for sure. I'm also Petrovic curious.
We're all Petrovic curious. Let us know in the comments down below if you two, all three, are Petrovic curious.
You can hashtag that.
Question of the day. But the final question of the day, in terms of the final point of the pod, does winning the Carabao Cup, which is obviously still 3 matches away, and to think about Chelsea winning 3 matches before Sheffield United and Newcastle would have been probably the most unfathomable thought of December 2023. Would winning the Carabao Cup be considered, in your eyes, a success for Pochettino's first season? And try and think in your head about what the league position would have to be.
Yeah, paired with
to warrant
league
that.
Yeah, I think you've got to pair it with a league position, right?
I would say, yeah.
I think a realistic reflection of the transition we've been through, where we're at, I think top 8 plus, I call it the Carling Cup still, so I'm going to call it the Carling Cup. Top 8 plus Carling Cup.
Yeah.
That'll do for me.
From this moment on, we win the Carling Cup, League Cup, and we finish 8th.
Yeah.
From where we've been at now.
I think that's a fair reflection.
I just find it so difficult when I think about the league position, I think about the league form. I'm actually so shocked we're 10th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It really feels from my honest, without trying to get to, because I'm very conscious of the fact that we have been so flip-flop this season. A win and we're just elate. But that's football. So we deserve that, to not discredit ourselves here. But I will say this. Winning the trophy, for me, is what football is all about. You look at Middlesbrough in that semi-final, Fulham in that semi-final. This is going to mean everything to them. And I think you ask a lot of teams, and particularly I think Fulham is a great example here, because Fulham are an up and down team. They come up, they go down. They come up, they go down. And I think as fans of those kind of teams that do really well in the Championship but then struggle or fail in the Premier League, so many fans of those teams that I've seen speak about this or spoken to will say, I would absolutely murder for a trophy.
Yeah.
And have three or 4 seasons in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? So I think for Chelsea,
Spurs,
they would do the same. They'd probably get relegated for it. But if you're a Spurs fan watching this, for whatever weird reason that might be.
Yeah, if you're here, you're a weirdo, but yeah, go on.
If you got blue Chelsea fetishes or whatever, let us know in the comments down below. Would you take a trophy in relegation? Like, at this point in time...
Honestly, you should think about that carefully.
If I was a Spurs fan, which is just, again... Possible. Like, I would be considering this at this point. So, for Pochettino, I think winning that trophy in that first season, after already playing 17 games and being 10th, you've got to also be realistic and say the Premier League is so wide open at the top that maybe the next 5 games or the next 4 league games that are all winnable for Chelsea, that conversation changes dramatically. And let's say, I know you don't like that. But let's just say Chelsea do beat Wolves, we do beat Palace, we do beat Luton, and we do beat Fulham.
I'll let you say that.
But hypothetically, that doesn't sound that uncomprehendable.
It doesn't sound uncomprehendable.
It doesn't sound uncomprehendable. Hear me out. Let's say we win 4 Premier League games in a row, or get 10 points, let's say. Let's say Christmas Eve, no one wants it, it's a 0-0 at Wolves, and we all go home and we get fat the next day. All cool. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I expected it. How about Chelsea all of a sudden are building up to a 2-legged semi-final in the Carabao Cup with serious momentum in the Premier League, unbeaten in a fair few games, all of a sudden winning this trophy, even if we face Liverpool, I think seems like a feasible thing that Chelsea can look forward to now. There's a 1 in 3 chance that we'd probably play Liverpool if they beat West Ham tonight, by the way. I've got a funny feeling that we are going to get to the final of this competition. I really do. And I think if Chelsea are in a final, that could just simply be a coming of age for this era. Because Chelsea in finals, we show up, we deliver. And I think as much as this season we've spent so much time talking about players not seeming up for it, they've all got these long contracts, like, do they understand what it means to be a Chelsea player? Any footballer who's put in a final of a major trophy in England is going to absolutely step up to the plate.
I want to talk about a point you just said there. Chelsea in finals, we deliver.
Yeah, we do.
That was what we did. And there was a lot of things we used to do. So I just want to respond to everything you just said.
Habibi.
This is actually amazing what we're doing in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Because what we need is experience. The team needs experiences.
Yes.
The Carabao Cup is probably the least important trophy you can win in a league season. I've never taken it as seriously as the other ones.
But now I am.
Well, I am because I'm being realistic about what we can do.
Yeah.
And also I'm being realistic about
Very
the fact
good point.
but I'm being realistic about the fact that, like, just to go through a cup run, to have those moments like we had in this game where you go to a penalty shootout, you win that penalty shootout, you stand up and compose, you take your penalty, you fight until the 90th minute and get the win and get the equalising goal. Like, all these experiences are so important for this team. And so my expectation for the rest of the season is for the team to fight and put themselves in position to have positive experiences. That's what I want to see. I don't expect everything to go our way. I don't think we're going to win the next 5 games, even though I just don't. Even though they should all be winnable. No,
I know exactly why.
No, because I'm trying to be sensible. Like, I understand that I want to get excited, and I will let myself get excited when I watch us win games.
Yeah,
so
fair.
I'll be excited. I'll react in an excited way when we win. But when I'm looking ahead, I'm going to be like, okay, there's going to be hiccups in there because we don't know how to be consistent yet.
Yeah.
And maybe it suddenly all clicks, but I need to see that happen before I start hypothesizing that. Anyway, the point is, yes, if we could go win this Carabao Cup, that would be a huge experience for the boys. It'd bring them together. It would make them more confident and comfortable with each other. It would let them know that they've got a good manager, that he's doing the right things. Yes. To go through those big moments, those big high pressure, they call them clutch in American football. Those big clutch moments where you have to perform and deliver. Fantastic. And also, there's been games where I've watched us and we're like really not fighting at the end of the game. We're really not fighting. Mm-hmm. Today, fighting till the very, very end. Mudryk's pressing. That's how we got that goal. It was pure. That goal from Mudryk, actually, I loved it because it was skillful, but it wasn't about skill. It was about pure determination to go and get that ball. Yes. And to put them under pressure at the end of the game. So, I love a lot of what I saw.
And I'll tell you another point about Mudryk, because I feel like we've given him a lot of critique and it's fair to give him praise when necessary. Another thing I absolutely loved is when Bruno Guimaraes decided that he thought it was kickboxing, not football, and decided to just boot Ian Maatsen into the stands of Stamford Bridge. Should have been sent off. I know Caicedo made some bad tackles too. Not saying he didn't, but I want to talk about that. Mudryk is literally there in his face, giving it the big un. Nkunku rocks up next to him, giving it the big un as well. That is what we have been desperate to see. There's a lot of talk at the moment about the Chelsea players. They've absolutely got a lot of faith in Pochettino. I think that this little run of fixtures that we're on now, I'm not going to jump the gun and say we're going to win them all. I did a minute ago. I think we could.
You were hypothesizing.
I think we'll get 10 points from our next 4 Premier League games, but that's just me. Got the last prediction right, didn't I? I have a funny feeling that this victory against Newcastle could well actually be the making of something for Poch's Chelsea. I really do.
Of something.
That's
a bold prediction, George.
I'm just saying momentum is massive in football.
Yes.
If you go on a good run of results, you start to win football matches, things can then start to fall in your favour that haven't fallen in our favour prior. There's no denying that this season Chelsea have been incredibly unlucky. To lose your 4 first-choice fullbacks, both left and right side, is outstandingly crazy. Gusto comes on second half. We're a better team. We're a different team.
Yeah, when we had a proper left and a proper right back at the end, it looked balanced.
Poch gets it wrong by not doing that in the first place, but he rectified it early enough. And that is something I've always wanted from managers. I don't want you to wait to the 75th minute to figure out what we can all see from the side is wrong. The shape is wrong. We're not getting forward enough. There's not enough pressure on the fullbacks because there's no intervention from our fullbacks. Yeah. He changed that early, and Chelsea, we deserved more. Didn't create enough good opportunities to force Dubravka into better and bigger saves. But I think that's going to come because Nkunku's coming. So I think there's a lot to be positive about here, Harrison. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm excited. Ricky, how long have we been rolling for? 27. That is a bloody great time to wrap things up here. Perfect. I'm going to say this has probably been my favourite podcast to record in a very long time because Chelsea actually won and we're heading to the semi-finals of the League Cup.
It was all right. I'm a bit tired, but it was all right.
Well, you just do you, Harry. It doesn't matter anyway. But at this point in the video, I don't care if people click off. But if you're still here, hit the like button. Check out Harry's channel. He did an interview with Anti-Profit. If you don't know who Anti-Profit is, can you send me a picture so I can put it on screen?
Yeah, he's got a mask on, so yeah, he wears a mask.
Yeah, you probably don't know him.
We should.
But you might know him, Mask on, mask off, future, And
I did one with Djordje, who's also a Chelsea fan.
Yes, Life of Djordje, Chelsea fan also. There's plenty of it on there. And if you haven't seen the podcast that I did with Harry, which is basically just me waffling for an hour and a half or whatever it was, you can click the card on the screen right now because I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching. Ciao.
Up the Chelsea.